Hi everyone, welcome back to factoring. This is our second video of 3, and today we are focusing on when our polynomials have 3 terms, or as we like to call them, trinomials. So we're going to go through 2 methods again. One method is when my leading coefficient is 1, and the other method is when it's not 1. So we've got guess and check, we'll go over those steps in our notes, and then we've got the slip and slide method. Okay, a lot of people like to use what's called the diamond method. That essentially means the same thing as guess and check, but I'm going to show you this way because I don't really like the diamond method. All right, so let's get started on these notes. So when we are factoring polynomials that have 3 terms, we're going to use the guess and check for when our a value is 1 or the leading coefficient, and then we're also going to use that slip and slide later if it's not. So let's talk about our easier ones when a is just 1, or if we don't have a number right there. In order to use our guess and check method, we are going to set up, kind of like the first video, 2 sets of parentheses. We've got x plus and x plus. What we're really trying to figure out is the values that go here. So we know it's an x squared, so these both have to be x. These numbers have to multiply to give me c, and they have to add together to give me b. Okay, so I'm not going to write numbers here. We'll see those with the examples. But that's what it means when you see on the notes it says factors of c that add up to b, right? What I mean is factors of this number have to add up to this number. So that's what that means down here. Okay, let's try it with a real example. The first one is x squared plus 8x plus 15. So just like in the example right above, we are going to write 2 parentheses, our 2 factors. I just have an x squared here, so I know it's going to be x and x. I'm going to write plus and plus. If I end up needing to have a minus, I'll just write a negative number there. So that's okay to just write the plus. And then I'm going to go through and think of what are factors of 15 that are going to add up to 8. So let's list factors of 15. I've got 15 times 1, I've got 3 times 5, and that's all I have. So if I were to add together 15 and 1, even with negatives, I won't get to the number 8. But if I add 3 and 5, I do get 8. So these numbers multiply to give me my c value, and they add to give me my b value. So these are the 2 numbers that I'm going to write in my factors. So this is completely factored. X plus 3 and x plus 5 are my 2 factors. All right, let's try again. This one is a little different. We now have y to the 4th, but that's okay because y to the 4th, if we have this here and we've got y squared here, that just means instead of writing y, I'm going to write y squared. So that's my new, basically, a value in those parentheses. Okay, so just like before, I'm going to think about what are the factors of negative 36 that will add to 9. Notice I included the negative this time. All right, so obvious one is 1 and 36. Let's just make the 1 negative. Well, even if the 36 is negative, if I switch it around, I'm not able to add those in any way to give me 9, so that's not right. How about 9 and 4? 9 times 4. Well, if the 9 is negative or if the 4 is negative, these are not going to add up to 9, so that's not right either. How about if I do 12 times 3? Well, if I make, let's see, the 3 negative, then yeah, if I add those together, that gives me 9. So I've found my 2 values. Make sure you pay attention to which one is negative. So I've got a positive 12 and I've got a negative 3. So let's double check. Y squared times y squared is y to the 4th. 12 times negative 3 is negative 36. And 12 plus negative 3 is 9. So we're good. Always ask yourself if you're done. So I'm going to ask myself, is this a sum of cubes? No. Is this a difference of cubes or squares? No. So we cannot factor this anymore. We are done. All right, let's go on to our slip and slide method. So let me zoom out just a little bit. This is what we use when that first coefficient is not 1. So maybe it's a 2, a 4, 1/2, whatever it is. These are the steps we're going to use. So I'll show you why we call it the slip and slide. But definitely get these 4 steps down. The first one is the slide A to C and multiply. Then we're going to factor as a guess and check, so basically what we just did right above. We're going to divide the numbers by a value, and then we're going to simplify. Okay, so we're basically moving around our A value. That's that slip and slide part of this. Okay, so we're going to try that with this trinomial right here. So our first step, and I'm going to try to keep these steps in here while I do it, is to slide the A, that's the 2, over to where the C is, and we're going to multiply. So I'm going to rewrite this as x squared plus 5x plus, if I multiply those, 3 times 2, that gives me 6. Okay, so I did my first step. Second one is to factor this as a guess and check. So now this is just like one of the trinomials up above. So I'm just going to factor this, asking myself, what are factors of 6 that add up to 5? I'm going to do that part quickly. So I'm going to write my 2 parentheses. Well, factors of 6 that add up to 5, x and x. I'm thinking, well, 6 and 1, no, because they both have to be positive or both have to be negative. Okay, so if they're both positive, I can make them 3 and 2. So I've finished my second step. My third step, don't forget this one. You need to divide these numbers by that original A value. So we're basically undoing that multiplication that we just did. So we're going to divide by 2, since that was my A value. Remember, that's the number we slid. And we're going to write what we get. So over here, I've got x plus 3 over 2. And over here, well, this just simplifies to 1. So we're almost done. We don't like fractions here in our factors like this. It's okay if you write that, but we'd rather write it with a coefficient in front of x. So I'm going to leave this x plus 1. And then this one, whenever you have a fraction, you can write the denominator as a coefficient right here. So I'm going to bring that 2 right here, and then you can just write plus 3. So this right here is the exact same as this right here. Those both mean the same thing. So I have factored the original polynomial to these 2 factors. Remember to ask yourself if you are done. Yes, neither of these are sums of cubes, so I am done. Okay, thanks so much for watching, guys. Last video after this one will be when we have 4 terms.